Hello, everyone. You are welcome. This is Relationship Matter with Goodness. Today, I'll be looking at 5 ways God will show you who to marry. Love, indeed, is said to be a mystery, and it is probably difficult to find the one God has chosen for you. Well, the scriptures are filled with evidence that God can provide signs to guide you in your search for your soulmate. Whether it is a confirmation in your spirit or an outright signs, God is more than capable of letting you know who that person is. Here are 5 things God will do when you find the one God has made for you. Number 1, He will give you the same spirit. When God brings you in contact with your life partner, the first thing He will do is to bestow you both with the same spirit. The reason is that when 2 people have the same spirit, they both think and does things the same way. The 2 of you will feel as though you have known each other for a very long time, almost like long-lost friends. Even without doing too much of talking or introduction, you both will get along with each other without much resistance. Unlike the average relationships that will give you hard time having to figure out your life partner, even after years of being together. That which comes from God will totally be different. The scripture says, every good and perfect gift cometh from above, and it is above all. Let's look at some biblical examples. In Genesis chapter 1, when Adam first saw Eve, he instantly felt a sense of joy, even though it was his first time meeting her. Adam felt as though they had been best friends. He felt the sense of peace within, joy and happiness. And then we also have another example in Genesis chapter 24, verse 58. Isaac and Rebekah, they both felt a sense of peace. This is because God has already put within each other a heart reassurance of peace and confirmation by giving them both the same spirit. He provides the foundational base by which you both can agree on in terms of values. It also means when decisions need to be made, negotiations can happen quickly and harmoniously, since both parties tend to think along the same lines. When God brings you together, a matching spirit, even the most seemingly unsurmountable obstacle can become insignificant, and there will be no hurdles that you both cannot overcome. Number 2, when God blesses you with a companion, one thing He gives you, or He will give to you, is a unified voice. That is, both of you will have similar views and opinions without misinterpretations. Having one voice means both parties understand each other and what is being said. When God is not involved in a relationship, that language of one voice dissipates, and conversion can literally littered with misunderstanding. For example, Let's look at Genesis chapter 11 verse 6. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. This they begin to do, and now nothing will restrain them, which they have imagined to do. From the scripture we read, it is clear that even God acknowledged that when people speak in one voice, there is nothing they can achieve. On the contrary, when God is not involved in a relationship, the devil becomes an active interpreter of what both of you are saying. That is, when one person says something, the devil gives the other person a complete different interpretation of what he is saying. Looking at the same scripture, verse 7, it says, Let us go down and confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another. Speech. In the same scripture, in verse 7, it says, Let us go down and confuse their language, so that they may not understand one another's speech. This idea is also being used by the devil in many marriages. By confusing your language, the both will hear each other wrongly. In fact, you will hear what the other party never or intended to say. But when God is behind any relationship, the Spirit of God takes over, regulate and interpret what the real message is. Even the wrong word is being said, the Spirit of God restrains the person never to take it out of context. Number 3, God does the work. Long before you meet the person, God had prepared for you. He had already begun to do the work of teaching them the basics of good relationship. Which means when you finally meet your spouse, they will already know how to conduct themselves in the relationship. Unlike the ordinary couples who have to endure pains for stages of correcting each other's wrong, couples that are brought together by God had gone through divine training in advance that will say or save you the pains of teaching them the right from the wrong. This would save the stress of having to teach them every single thing about a good relationship. It teaches your spouse about the good behavior that is acceptable and those that are not. Now, without having to tell them, they will know that cheating and unfaithfulness are wrong, or their coming home late is not acceptable in marriage. This will come naturally. To your spouse, and you won't find yourself getting frustrated trying to correct a grown-up adult. Even when they do make mistakes, and correct your spouse, and you won't find yourself getting frustrated trying to correct a grown-up adult. Even when they do make a mistake and you correct them as spouse being given to you by God. They readily admit their wrong and apologize immediately. A wife-to-be, on the other hand, should know cooking is an essential part of the marriage. She tries her best to learn everything necessary to enhance her cooking skills. She won't have to wait until she's married before learning to do so. Likewise, the man. The woman should be loved, cared for, provided for, and protected. They both will learn this before marriage ceremony or before the marriage ceremony. This happened because when they were dwelling on their own as single, God was busy training them behind the scene for this purpose. Number 4, a natural flow. Any relationship that is ordained by God will have to gracefully flowing instead of forcefully commencing. When orchestrated, a union between two people is often characterized by no resistance. Instead, there exists a mutual respect that keeps both parties humble and grateful for each other. This natural flow of love brings out the best in both partners, promoting them to be a better version of themselves in every aspect of their connections or relationships. The woman, for an instant, takes pleasure in preparing meals for the family. These types of relationship is symbiotic relationship. There is so much joy and fulfillment being together as husband and wife. When we bring them together, it will flow with harmony and happiness. And then number 5, the last, extreme tolerance. Being tolerant becomes the trademark of that relationship. Your partner will know instinctively when to look past your flaws and forgive with grace. Both of you will have this understanding towards one another. Apologize immediately when you notice you've wronged him or her without any delay. And the apologies will be accepted. This set apart God-given relationship from the other type. God bless you. Until I come your way again, thank you for watching. If this video has blessed your life, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Continue to love God and dwell in His love, for there is no wanting in God. I remain EU God knows. Thank you for watching.